Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing a follow-up video. A couple of months ago I reviewed the Kuckian eyeshadows, the metallic crushed pigments as they were called, and in that video I told you guys that when and if the Kuckian lip kit arrived that I promised I would do a follow-up. So here we are. If that's something you guys are interested in watching, then you are in the right place. We're about to get into it.
Watch out for me, I'm about to glow. You better watch out for me, I'm about to glow.
Okay guys, so first let's just address the elephant in the room. Yes, the video I just posted a couple of days ago was a big rant about the ethics of a certain organization who shall not be named on this channel, and some shady practices that that organization had, and as a result of that I was no longer going to feature that organization on this channel. So trust me, the fact that I am here with a follow-up from John Kuckian and his cosmetics, the irony of that is not lost on me. However, in the initial video when I did his crushed pigments, I did promise you guys a follow-up. Everybody has reached out on social media as soon as I posted a picture on Instagram that the lip kit had arrived, and overwhelmingly you guys want to see a review and hear a breakdown of the lip kits. So your wish is my command. Here we are. Alright, so first can I just start by saying that a ridiculously huge box showed up on my doorstep. Like, look at this. Oh my god, this giant box showed up on my doorstep. It's huge. First they said that the lip kit was going to be here in January. It was like January 29th, 30th. I reached out and I said, hey, it's like the end of the month and I haven't seen my lip kit. And they did respond back and said your lip kit is on the way, and actually 2 days later it showed up in that giant box. All that was in that giant box was this lip kit and this little booklet, both of which we're getting ready to go over. But I thought that that box was a bit much. Let's talk about packaging first. Since we're talking about the box, I do want to talk about the packaging of the lip kit. I actually really like the packaging of the lip kit. I actually think it's pretty ingenious. So this is supposed to be the color of the lip kit on the outside of the box. It has Kuckian right here, very minimalistic on the front. On the side here, it has intense color in like 9 different languages. On the back, it has the color name of the color of the lipstick here. It has the ingredients of all of the lip kits, and then it tells you what is included in the lip kit. And then it actually slides out like this, and that's how the lip kit is actually in the packaging. It's a very hard foam, very similar to what like Sunday Riley ships their products in, which I can understand because they're glass and incredibly breakable. But there's not anything that's really breakable in here, so I think that while the foam is very dense and will absolutely ensure that no product gets damaged in the mail, I think it's kind of overkill because there's not really anything breakable in here. But it is very pretty nonetheless. It has the Kuckian Cosmetics symbol here at the top, and then very snugly in here is the lip kit with the ombre pencil, which is a shade darker than the formula, and the regular lip liner, which is supposed to be the same exact color as the formula. Now, when it comes to packaging, I did notice something that I just wanted to let you guys know about. So when you slide this little sucker out, you see this on the front, but when you slide it out this way, you actually see a whole set of directions here on the back side of this. And what it does is it basically goes over with you how to put the lipstick on.
It says to define the Cupid's bow in the lower lip with the lip liner of choice that you'd like to use. Apply a thin layer of the liquid lipstick all over the lip and allow it to dry. The applicator can be used to create a soft blend between the lip and the surrounding skin. Each liquid lipstick contains a vitamin E derivative. Vitamin E is a nice antioxidant, so it's nice that there's a vitamin E in here. And then, of course, it says to remove, exfoliate with a cleansing solution. Now,
I skipped over the first step because I just want you guys to see what the first step is. The first step is actually to, wait for it, exfoliate the lips. So, we're supposed to exfoliate our lips before we put this product on. I just thought that was interesting. Not only did he put exfoliate on the actual packaging itself, but he also put that word in this little booklet several times as well. So it's like all over his marketing material. So whatever exfoliate means, we'll get into that a little bit later. He's insistent that it's a word. All right, guys, so we're just going to get down to brass tacks here, and then I'm going to go over with you my final thoughts on this, and I'm going to go over this little booklet with you guys towards the end as well. So I have already played around with this a little bit, and I'll tell you why. The main reason was because I had seen some things floating around on social media that people were actually getting rashes and having reactions, and I am not trying to have any of that nonsense happen to me. So I actually did a skin test first, and I just put a swatch on the back of my hand, and I allowed it to sit for 4, 6, 8, 12 hours, all throughout the entire day. Took it off at the end of the evening, let it sit for 24 hours, and I'm fine, personally. So I didn't have a reaction to it. I'm not sure what people are reacting to. I will say this, there is a pretty standard blend of ingredients in the liquid lip kit. It is very obviously listed on the back of the box, and the only thing that's here that is a little different than other formulas for liquid lipstick is the vitamin E. You don't see vitamin E in a lot of liquid lip formulas. You do see it out there, but it's not like a regular normal kind of thing. And then he also has something called Semansia chinensis, I don't know, seed extract, which is a seed that's supposed to have really good benefits for your lips. So those are really the only two ingredients that I wasn't sure about. The rest of them are all incredibly standard in the industry for liquid lipstick. So it is just a basic liquid lipstick. However, this liquid lipstick is billed as the most comfortable liquid lipstick that you're ever going to use, that it's the most opaque, that it's, you know, like any other cosmetic brand, it's billed like it's the solution to everything. Now, here's my thing. I actually have an issue with liquid lipsticks being too drying. So my hope going into this was that it could possibly be the solution I've been looking for liquid lipstick that wasn't drying on my lips. That wasn't the case. I will say this as well, guys. I recorded like a whole thing trying this first impression, the whole 9 yards for you guys, and then I actually erased it on accident, so I'm sorry. So this is turned into a review as opposed to a first impression, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go over the product with you. So this little container here, there's a couple of things about it that I like and a couple of things about it that I don't like. I do absolutely love the shape. I think the shape is fantastic. I love kind of that sleek, thin ombre shape. The Kuckian is like really in there because you can't feel the lettering. The one thing I don't like about this, and I think it cheapens the whole component, is this silver plastic right here. If this was actual silver and this was actually metal, I think it would be much more luxe. But the fact that it's plastic, I feel like it really cheapens this component. Now, the applicator is a very standard doe foot applicator. There is actually nothing special about it at all. So that is my opinion on the actual component. Now, as far as the liners are concerned, you have one liner that's the shade of the actual liquid lipstick, and then you have one liner that's a shade darker, and that's supposed to be for you to be able to create like an ombre effect. So you get two liners, and then of course you get the liquid lipstick. Now the liquid lipstick is 0.2 fluid ounces if I remember correctly, and I believe that each one of the pencils is a gram a piece. Yes, that's correct. So 0.2 fluid ounces of the liquid lipstick and a gram a piece of the liners, or 6 mils of the liquid lipstick, either way. And that is very standard. Now, going on to the pencils. The one thing that I do like about these pencils is that they're not just wooden pencils, which I would have expected that to be the cheaper route for an indie brand. I would expect them to go kind of a cheaper route. These are actually the plastic casing with the product on the inside, and I'll show you what I mean by the plastic. You know the kind I'm talking about. Very similar to like ColourPop's lip liner is very similar. It's plastic, it's not wooden, and a lot of people think that that's difficult to sharpen, but I actually sharpened this one, which is the one that is the same color as the liquid lipstick, and it sharpened just fine for me. So I did wanted to see if it would sharpen without falling apart, and it did actually quite well. So the lip liners to me look like very good quality, and the packaging for the liquid lipstick is okay, except for this silver band here. Not a fan. As far as performance goes, I'm actually going to demo this for you just so that you guys can actually see the product going on. So first, we're going to go ahead and line the lips. As you guys can see, I have no product on my lips. And we are just going to go ahead and line the lips first, and I'll show you how this applies. All right, guys, so we have the lips lined. Now, before we go into the liquid lipstick, let me tell you guys, I expected, by the way this color was described online and by the color display that they had online, I expected this to be a dusty rose color, you know, like a plummy mauve color, because that's the way it was described, a soft mauve, a rose kind of plummy color. This is pink, and it's quite a bright pink, and I don't like pink, so I hate this color like a lot. So having said that, let's try and ignore the color and focus on the formula. So we'll go in with one doe foot applicator full of product and see what happens. And we're done. So one thing I do like is that one applicator gives you a good application, and it's very opaque. It's not streaky, it's not patchy, it's nice and solid on the lips, as you can see. I really just wish it wasn't pink. I hate this color. All right, so I did wear this for a 12-hour day, and some of the things that didn't get deleted from my phone was some of the actual check-ins. So the check-ins that I have left, I'm actually going to insert them here just so you guys can see them. Oh my God, you guys, who would wear this pink? Look at this, pink. Oh my God, it's so pink. All right, so here's the one thing I do like. I do like that like my lines, the fine lines and wrinkles that I have on my lips aren't exaggerated with this formula. But so far so good. As you can, I don't know if you can tell or not, but you see where the liner is? It's like, see how it's fading here and feathering? So I am not a fan of the liner, which is the liner that's the same color as the lipstick. The ombre that I put in here just to darken up the corners is, I don't know. It's okay. It's just very dry. All of this is very dry. And it feels very dry on my lips. I want to, like, grab a lip balm and, like, put a lip balm on real quick. But I don't want to mess up anything because I really want to see how long-lasting this is. I think this color makes your teeth look really yellow. I just don't like it. I'm not a fan. I hate this color. But I'm trying to stick to just formula. And as far as formula is concerned, I feel like this is bleeding out a little bit on the sides and it's not as defined and crisp as it should be. Other than that, the color is still looking good, still staying strong, and it's not coming off. It's still looking good at the 3.5 hour mark. So 3.5 hours, still going strong. All right, guys, we are at about the, wait, what time is it? Okay, so we're at the 6.5 hour mark, and this is where we are with the lipstick. It's obviously faded quite a bit. It's faded quite a bit under here. And I will say this, I have eaten an entire meal and I've drank coffee like all day long. Most of the time I wouldn't have any color on there and I would have had to have reapplied by now. I will say that as the day has gone on, it has gotten a little more comfortable. It's not as uncomfortable as it was when I first put it on. But it's still like bright pink. I still hate the color. I am just now getting ready to start cooking dinner for my family, and then I guess we will be back to see how it does. All right, so as you guys can see there was a little bit left on there around the 6 hour mark, and then around the 8-9 hour mark, it was just completely gone, which honestly is basically the performance of every other liquid lipstick out there, unless it's like a super long-lasting formula. A couple of formulas that I've stumbled across that I've noticed are incredibly long-lasting are the matte whip lips from the Beauty Bakery. Those you basically have to get a jackhammer to take them off. In the new Smashbox formula, the ones that look like this in the little square, these are incredible and these last way longer. And the new Dose of Colors liquid lipsticks, these are phenomenal as well. So a little bit about this color. I hate this color, you guys, in case you couldn't tell. This is like more of what I expected when it came to this color, more of an actual mauve, or, you know, a plum, kind of soft plum color. This, it should just be marketed as pink. I can't tell you how disappointed I am in this color. Having said that, the ombre stick is one that I haven't demoed for you yet. So let me tell you while I demo this for you, why I'm not a fan of this. But we're going to go ahead and do this just so you guys can see. All right, so we have it applied. As you can see, it does not blend very well. It's incredibly dry, so putting dry on top of dry just makes it skip around and it doesn't blend well at all. I actually had to take a brush and go in and blend it like this. And that just softens the edges a little bit, as you can see. And we'll have to do the same up here. And that's about as good as it's going to get. So you can see how difficult it is to do an ombre look when you're dealing with a very dry, very matte formula. Now, ombre looks are best done with emollient formulas, and there's a reason for that. The reason for that is the blending, and to get a seamless blend, you want a formula that gives you a little bit of play time, that gives you a little bit more of a slip and slide so that you can actually get the blending done fabulously well. Unfortunately, this is not that formula. So in order to have a nice ombre look, this is not going to be what you want to work with. These are not the ideal tools for that look. So I don't think these should be marketed together because it really is just a very uncomfortable feeling. Not only that, but when you layer a very dry matte formula on top of a very dry matte formula, now you start to get a little bit of that cakey feeling, a little bit of that it's not dried down and my lips are sticking together feeling, and it starts to just get incredibly uncomfortable on the lips. So I don't like the ombre aspect of it. I think the regular performance of it is about as standard as any other liquid lipstick. I would actually put it at the level of some of the NYX formulas that are out there. It feels a lot like some of the Model's Own liquid lipsticks that are out there. Wet n Wild's liquid lipsticks that are out there feel very similar to this. The Milani liquid lipsticks that are out there feel very similar to this. But this is miles and miles away from like a Dose of Colors or a Smashbox or even an Anastasia Beverly Hills. These three are all incredibly comfortable and much longer lasting on the lips than this formula is. This formula doesn't last very long, number one. Number two, I mean, it lasts longer than a lipstick would, but for a long lasting matte liquid lipstick, there are definitely formulas out there that last longer. And as far as comfort is concerned, these three definitely have it beat as far as comfort. It is very, very dry. And I don't like the color. Because it's pink, it's not mauve, it's fuchsia, it's like pink. Oh, it's awful. And another side note about performance, the actual lip liner I felt like wasn't very effective. It did bleed. I have a lot of fine lines and wrinkles right around the edge of my mouth here, and it did sink into a lot of those fine lines, and it feathered and bled, and it lost that sharp, crisp definition on the outside of my lips. Around that 1 to 2 hour mark, it really started to feather all through here and really sink into my fine lines and wrinkles. So I didn't appreciate that part of it as well. So overall, that's kind of my rundown of the product. I do want to talk to you a little bit about this gem. But before I do that, I actually am going to take this off because, again, it's just not a comfortable formula. So
give me just a moment. And this is just a makeup wipe, guys. And like, unlike the Beauty Bakery, that really requires you to go in with, like, you know, a special liquid lipstick remover and, you know, all of that in order to get it off. This really doesn't. You can just get it off with a makeup wipe. And it comes off.
So I'm going to put this Smashbox on, and this is in the shade Stepping Out. And this formula is much more long-lasting and so much more comfortable. Okay, much better. Now, back to this little booklet. So you get this little booklet, and honestly, when it comes to the presentation of all of this, I really did like the packaging that it all came in. I thought it was really innovative and different, and you don't see lip kits coming in packaging like that, so I thought that that was really cool. I would have rather that this have just been kept out of the presentation altogether, because I feel like this really cheapened the product, and I'll tell you why. So these pages are embossed, and it's just a plastic covering that makes the pages feel a little bit more luxe, right? Well, unfortunately, whoever he had doing the embossment of the pages messed up, and there's this big gloop of embossment left here on this page. If you guys can see it, it's just like this gloopy looking clump of plastic that's here. So that made it through their quality assurance department. So I didn't like that. It just kind of cheapened it. And I do like the pictures that are in here. It just has some pictures of the product. But as you go in through this booklet, there are typographical errors. There are spatial errors in here. There's like a mixture of French and English with no kind of rhyme or reason to where the French is stuck in there. You know, it kind of goes over the products a little bit, and it talks about how to apply it. But here's a good example of the spatial issues that I'm talking about. Like here you can see it's going over like the different steps, step 1, step 2. Here is like step 3, 4, 5 on how to actually put the liquid lipstick on. But you see these spaces in between the words and how it just doesn't look professional. And if you'll notice here, it says step 1 is to exfoliate, and then way over here it says lips. And then apparently we need a definition because no one knows what exfoliate means. And here it says, you know, to exfoliate with an emollient. Apparently that's what exfoliate means. So, you know, it's just got errors in it. The printing wasn't good. So for me, I feel like if this just wasn't included, it just would have been better. So I feel like this just shouldn't have been included. The other thing I didn't like was I got stuck with a color that I absolutely hated. So now I'm stuck with 3 products that complement the color that I absolutely hate. So, you know, it would be different, I guess, if it was a color that I liked and I had multiple products to complement that color. But when you end up getting one you don't like, you end up with a lot of colors you don't like. So maybe selling them individually would be better. And now let's spend a minute talking about exfoliate. So I actually did some research on this word because it was genuinely bothering me. I know that everybody kind of made fun the first time that the word was spoken aloud on social media. And if you look it up on the Urban Dictionary, it actually says a word that John Kuckian made up. But I thought, if this kid is so convinced that this is a word, it has to come from somewhere. I mean, he's repeated it over and over and over, and he's put it all over his packaging, and he's put it in his booklets. He's actually printed it on products that he's sending to consumers from Kuckian Cosmetics. So I'm thinking there has to be something to this word. So I did a in-depth due diligence research, full-blown on this word, and it's not what I think he thinks it is. So not only was it incredibly difficult to find, but when I did find the word, you're never going to guess where I actually found it. I found it in a copy of the California Journal of Medicine, not just any California Journal of Medicine. This particular edition was printed in 1922. So it's a very old California Journal of Medicine. This literally is the only place that I have been able to find anywhere that this word is ever been used in like the history of ever. So I found it in the California Journal of Medicine, and in the Journal of Medicine, the surgeon is actually describing a procedure that was done on a tooth. And in this procedure, he's talking about scraping out the tooth, and the tooth has been trigger alert. If you don't like gory stuff, you probably don't want to listen to like this next little bit. So when the tooth has been extracted and there's a big hole there, it says that they take, I guess then they had a, what they call a hyperplastic type drill, and they drill down in that empty hole, and they drill around the sides, and they scrape the inside of the gums, and it's supposed to be to get bacteria off, dead skin cells off, and to really just extract and carve out that gum that was surrounding the root of the tooth. And this surgeon says that it's incredibly important to do that after pulling a tooth because later bacteria and infection can set up and it can really cause some problems in that empty socket. That process in 1922, in April of 1922, that process this surgeon referred to as exfoliate. And that literally is the only place I've ever been able to find this word. And I'll put a copy of it up here just so that you guys can see. It was actually used in a sentence, in a book, somewhere in the world, but it really doesn't have anything to do with scrubbing your lips or exfoliating with an emollient. So the word exists, but it doesn't mean what I think he thinks it means, and he's put it all over everything. All right, guys, so final thoughts. What do I think about the liquid lipstick? It's a liquid lipstick. If you look at the ingredients, this liquid lipstick is compatible to the likes of NYX, Wet n Wild, e.l.f. They have kind of similar makeups. It's about that standard quality. So it's overpriced. It's just okay. It's not anything that I can't live without. And it's just, would I, Erica, approve it for the channel? No. So the eyeshadow is kind of a different story. This, no, guys, sorry. Can't Erica approve this one. All right, guys, so that is it. The Kuckian lip kit review is done. And I don't know. What do you guys think? You think we're going to see more from this guy? One other thing, I know we were going to do like a Makeup 101 series for the month of February. However, we are already into like the second week of February, and I feel like a lot of this month is already gone, and considering that it's a short month anyway, I don't want to jilt the Makeup 101 series by rushing and cramming in content over the course of the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to move the Makeup 101 series out and start that in March. And then in February, we're just going to work through all of this product that has piled up on me. So we have lots and lots of reviews coming up for the remainder of February, and then we're going to launch into our 101 series. As always, if there's any products that you guys would like to hear my take on, then feel free to put it down in the comments. I always listen to what you guys have to say, and I will get to it if I can. I have no problem doing that whatsoever. Thank you guys so much for coming by and spending time with me. As always, make sure that you stay happy and healthy. Mwah.